Let me share this example with you. Let's say you have a dental problem. You go to the dentist, and the dentist works on a complaint you have about your upper molar on the left side. And after finishing that, he does a tooth in front, a tooth in back, a tooth on the bottom, tooth on the other side. And 3 years later, you wind up having another complication with that original tooth you went to him for. And the dentist who now treats you, a different doctor, says, I can't believe what you had done on the first visit, 3 years ago. The guy was a total schmuck. He didn't know what he was doing. Now you're going to need the tooth extracted. Now you're going to need an implant. Now you're going to need all this treatment, all because of the following things. Is there continuous treatment? From the patient's point of view, what do they know? They know they've been going to this dentist who's been working in their mouth for the last 2.5, 3 years, right? So they think, yes, there is continuous treatment. I'm going to this dentist. I'm going to this doctor. And that's their thinking. And they have a right to think that way. It's natural. But from an attorney's standpoint, from a legal position, we have to look at those records and see which tooth was it the dentist treated. Was it tooth 15? Great. Now the dentist next worked on tooth 16, and then 14, and then 22. Well, if the doctor did not treat the same condition or same complaint that the patient originally went to them for, that patient does not get the benefit of continuous treatment and extending that time to file suit. So they would be out of luck. And again, that's the state of the law as it exists today, and that's why it turns out to be a travesty for many people who have this type of scenario. All right, I'm going to talk now about something called judgment calls. Many defense attorneys love to argue that the issues that arise in malpractice cases are judgment calls and do not rise to the level of what we call departures from good and accepted care. And let me give you an example of how that comes up. Let's say you have a medical problem, and you now go to 5 different doctors to evaluate that medical problem. 4 of them tell you, let's treat it this way. The 5th doctor says, no, we're going to treat it this way. And you like the 5th doctor better. It's less invasive. There are less problems associated with what he's recommending. And you opt to have that done, a procedure done, with doctor number 5. Lo and behold, you wind up getting a significant complication with doctor number 5. And you turn around and say, doctor, what you recommended was a departure from good and accepted practice. Well, merely because of the fact that the doctor's choice to use one procedure over another, does that in and of itself give rise to malpractice? How many of you think yes? How many think no? You are right, the ones who said no. And here's why. As long as the treatment that's being offered is within medical accepted standards, even though it's not in the majority, even though most doctors would not do that type of procedure, as long as it's still medically acceptable, if the patient has the procedure and goes forward, has a complication, the mere fact that the doctor chose to use one procedure over another does not necessarily give rise to evidence of malpractice. And that's a concept that a lot of injured patients don't recognize. And they say, but all these other doctors said I should not have had that done. They wouldn't, and the phrase that I hear often is, they told me they wouldn't do it. Well, that's what prompts the call to the office. And when I explain to them that that does not equate to malpractice, they get very upset and they get very angry. What do you mean? My doctor told me that he never should have done it. Well, he never would have done it, but if the medical community still recognizes it as something that is an option and is an acceptable option, then you're going to have a very tough time getting a medical expert in to prove that there is wrongdoing, that there's a departure from good and accepted care.